How to Choose a Good Church 10 Tips by Mike Winger. I believe he's a pastor of some kind. I can narrow it down for you, Mike. Is the church Bible-based? Do they say this church is a Bible-based church? Avoid that like the plague. Because, as I recall, and as it states in the book of Acts and in the whole New Testament, the church was founded one time. They were first called Christians in Antioch. Coincidentally, I'm Antiochian, Syriac, Orthodox Christian. The church is under heavy persecution right now, so please pray for the Christians in the Middle East, especially the ones in Syria. The Antiochians, the Syriacs, the Maronites, the Melkites, the Latin Rite, the Lutherans, and the Assyrian Church of the East. But basically, you have two churches that have existed from the time of the apostles until the present day. You have one that never changed. You kind of have a split between the Orientals and the Eastern, but that split is basically mended itself since the death of Athanasius IV. That's why I went from being Antiochian Orthodox to Syriac Orthodox. And then you have Rome, which broke away from the other four sees. There was three original sees: Alexandria, Antioch, and Rome, and then Constantinople and Jerusalem were added later. Rome broke away and started having its own councils, and I think they're up to like 23 ecumenical councils. We only have 7, and they only deal with Christology. And the church, the one true church that was founded by the apostles, teaches the Trinity and the hypostatic union. And every bit of our liturgy is ancient and looks identical to any liturgy that you'd find anywhere in the world, from Ireland to India, from Russia to Ethiopia, 1,000 years ago, or even, if you're not counting the Slavic peoples, 1,500 years ago. The hymns, we chant the hymns, and they come into our heart, and we know them. And little children can intone the hymns, and many times they do. And there's nights that we stay up and we go through the whole Psalter. So the Trinity, the hypostatic union, and believing in the councils and the creeds, like the Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed. There is only one church, and the idea that it's just mystical somewhere out there, all believers, that doesn't appear in the New Testament at all. So I would say that Rome is the first Protestant church, because it broke away and just started doing its own thing. So you guys can go to a Serbian Orthodox church, a Coptic Orthodox church, an Ethiopian Orthodox church, a Syriac Orthodox church, an Antiochian Orthodox church, Russian Orthodox church, Bulgarian Orthodox church, Greek Orthodox church, I don't know how to pronounce it, Eritrean church, a Malabar Orthodox church, the Malankara, the Jacobites. Any of those are good. also, they should have images of saints everywhere to avoid idolatry, because these are people who died at the hands of the pagan Romans because they wouldn't worship any other gods, and they only point to one God, and were commanded to make images, just like it says in the New Testament. And Moses made graven and molten images, like the cherubim on the mercy seat and the bronze serpent, and the cherubim that were woven into the tabernacle, as well as when Solomon built the temple, with the two cherubim that overshadowed the Ark of the Covenant. And Paul in Galatians 3 verse 1 says to people in northern Anatolia and Galatia, you yourself have seen Christ depicted, portrayed as crucified. So they had images of Jesus. And the oldest churches that we uncover in archaeological digs are covered in images. So they keep us away from idolatry and point us towards God. And the liturgy has never changed, and the words have never changed. And it points us to the Trinity and the reading of the gospel, and points us to the hypostatic union, Christ being fully God and fully man. That's how you find your church. If you go to a Bible-based church, you are just picking up a book that the church wrote, edited, and compiled, and without any tradition, which is important because in 2 Thessalonians, Paul tells us that to hold to not just what he has written, but also the traditions that he taught while he was with them. And he was with them for 2 years. So it was a lot more. So then, brethren, stand firm and hold to the traditions. And this word traditions, paradosis, is the same as when Christ uses it to condemn traditions of men, which were taught to you whether by word of mouth or by letter from us. And he lived with them for like 18 months to 2 years, so there was a lot more there. And then I can go into, the unruly people who don't obey. Like, now we commend you, brethren, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that you keep away from every brother who leads an unruly life, not according to the traditions which you received from us. Right? And then we have 1 Timothy 3:15, which tells us that the church of the living God, the pillar and support of truth. So the church is the pillar and support of truth, and it was founded at Pentecost by the apostles that hold to the traditions that were taught by the apostles. Now, I see the Roman Catholic Church has changed a lot over the last 1,000 years. So, head east. That's the one true Catholic, Holy Catholic and Apostolic Church that has always existed, never changed their beliefs, and has the greatest amount of martyrs. Peace to you.